What's up, guys? Luca here. Luca Teal. Yes, the Ashen one. The Ashen The AshenLuca. It's me. I'm back. And, I was gone last week because I was on vacation. I went out to Ohio to this little convention called Horror Hound Convention 2024, and I had a lot of fun. I saw Skeet Ulrich in person. He was he was sitting right behind me, and he was so big and strong. You know what I'm saying? Like I just see his muscles bulging. But anyway, I also ran into uh, I think Dermot Maloney. I think that's his name. On the flight back, actually, we were sitting in first class together. He was actually sitting next to me the entire time. I did not notice him until like I was trying to get my bag down, and by trying to get my bag down, I mean he helped me get my bag down because it was too high up, and I couldn't get it out right. So that was pretty cool. I got a picture with him, and then I was there, hung out with some girls. Actually, I met up with some people that I met in the community. I met up with his name's Bristol. He's not on Twitter anymore, but I used to play Destiny with him like several years ago, right? So I met up with him, and I met up with his girlfriend, who I'm also friends with, China. So I met up with them, and that was actually pretty fucking amazing. It's just kind of cool. Like there are some people in the community that I would like genuinely hang out with, you know what I'm saying? And like that was such a good experience for me. They were so cool, so nice, so welcoming, and it was just cool to like be with people and vibe with people who like are my age, like are around my age. You're older than me a little bit. But like around my age range and like who just understand things and think about things like the same way that I do, of course. Like not no echo chamber or anything like that, but it's just kind of like I feel like I'm with diverse perspectives all the time, so it was just kind of cool to be with people who are like who have the same values that I do. So they really like made my weekend so good. So I had so much fun hanging out with them, and it was just overall like a really good time. So that's what I was doing. um yeah, I mean, I can post some pictures of like some of the like things that I saw. There were some pretty cool masks and such. So I could also post some pictures of the actress I was with. Who I went there to see Melissa Barrera. So that was interesting. Real nice lady. Real nice lady. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did last weekend, and that's why I was gone. I think that's my last trip for this year. No more for me. And but I'm happy to be back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I had fun last week, but I do kind of wish I was here just for that PS5 Pro conversation that occurred. Because $700, I mean, I didn't get the chance to offer my perspective. But I will say this, like if you like it, I love it. If that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to spend your money on, I'm all for it. I'm not a pocket watcher. I don't care what other people choose to spend their money on as long as they're not doing anything illegal or breaking the law or hurting anybody, right? But that being said, $700 for that shit is fucking egregious. It's horrendous. It's horrific. And that's just my perspective on it. Like, it's just too much. Singer?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like 700, and it's 700 in the UK. It's like 800 in Europe. That is pushing the boat out, but they can get away with it, and they know people will eat it up. So
Yeah, and especially after I saw some of the people, like that PlayStation 5 Anniversary Edition came out, and what do I see? Folks like, "Oh, this looks pretty nice. This is looking good." I'm like, "Oh, okay. They just needed a little color change to get everybody on board. I understand." And that's all good for me, man. Like I'm like I said, you like it, I love it. You spend your money on whatever you want to spend your money on. I am not a pocket watcher. I don't care about any of that stuff. But I feel like I'm allowed to have my perspective on it, and my perspective of it is just like it's just too much for me. It's like where I am as a gamer, where I am as a gamer right now, I just would not see the benefit personally of like purchasing that, right? And I understand like there are trade-in offers. I know Best Buy doing it? I know GameStop was doing trade-in offer. Like I get that. So it's not exactly like the 700, right? But for me, I'm just like, eh. And I know some people were talking about like the physical media aspect of it. Like I have a PS5 with like a DVD drive, right? I don't really use it very often. I'll use it for like, occasionally if I want to buy a game on sale, so I have to spend the 60 fucking dollars, $70 to get it digitally. I can just get it like for cheaper. So that's like an aspect of it that really sucks, right? So having that be the differentiator there, it sucks. And $80 for that shit is fucking egregious. Like, it's just too much money. Like, I don't know why. I mean, they're charging that much because they can get away with it, but it's egregious in my opinion.
Yep.
The stand as well. It's just too much. They're tripping, man. I really thought for sure that they would not go over $600 for this. So it's like seeing that $700 mark. I was like, wow, okay. Now the backlash has been very interesting to see, and honestly speaking, I can't say I disagree with people who have an issue with it. Like again, at the end of the day, if you're against something as a consumer, you should speak with your wallet, right? But again, for the people who are interested in it, be interested in it. It's all good with me. I don't care what other people spend their money on. I feel like I have to keep reiterating that because people get so like antsy about it. They get so weird about it. And I don't have like the need or the want or the feeling to be like, oh, you spend your money on this. You're so fucking stupid. You're so dumb. All this extra shit. Like, I don't care because we all spend our money on things where it's like another person would look at it and be like, that's fucking dumb. Why did you spend your money on that? Like, you wasted money essentially. I feel like people could look at us as gamers in general and be like, why would you waste your money on that when you could have a more productive hobby, like that kind of thing, right? Like, I feel like, of course, there's levels to this shit, obviously. Like, games are not like they're $70, $80, $60, right? Like, they're not $700. That's a different amount. But like at the same time, you spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. I understand that we also in America are going through hard times, a recession. Like people are struggling to pay their bills, but I'm just like, man, if you're struggling to pay your bills, I feel like gaming is like the least of your concerns. I feel like if you just want to game in general, there is an option for that. You can still get a PS4, you can still get an Xbox One, like hell, you can get the Switch, right? Like you don't need the latest and greatest when it comes to technology. And I feel like that's a big thing as well, because it's like, well, why would they come out with this? This is so expensive. Most people can't afford it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that this console is for most people. I think the
Hmm.
console that's for most people is for the PS5 base. It's the base PS5. That is the most people system. The Pro is for the people who want that slight advantage. I want to see those extra little pixels. You know what I'm saying? Maybe eke out a frame or two, like that kind of thing. That's for the enthusiasts, the people who have like the money. And then people are like, well, at this point, you might as well just get a PC. I'm just like, yeah, but does the PC have the PlayStation games day one? I feel like if you're at this point where you are like a PC gamer, PC gamers don't mind waiting for games to come to PC. That's why they're PC gamers. Also, PC gamers actually play like PC games. I feel like there's a difference between being a PC gamer and then a gamer who plays on PC. And how I explain that? Singer, you play like League of Legends. What else do you play
I
that's like PC
like
exclusive?
what? Oh, PC exclusive. Uh, Age of Well, no, that's on consoles now as well. I was gonna say Age of Empires. Civilization is. Stellaris is. A lot of the games that I play have come over to console. I guess Frostpunk 2 isn't on console, so there is that. Just came out yesterday. Um, I mean, no Valorant's on console now. Um, yeah, there's not much now, to be honest. Like that I actually play.
Okay, but yeah, so there, I mean, like, so games like that before they came to console, and then also like CS:GO, like stuff like that, like that. I feel
Oh
like,
yeah,
what's what Tarkov, Escape Tarkov, like shit like that,
yeah,
right? Like, I feel like if you play games like that, like you're a PC gamer, right? Like, I feel like a gamer who plays on PC is someone like Blaze who has like a really nice rig, a really nice expensive rig, and he got that because he went like the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? I feel like PC gamers, like the general PC gamer, is someone who does not mind as long as the card is consistent. They don't feel the need to like constantly upgrade. Like I just feel like there's levels to this, right? So like
hmm
I feel like at this point where it's like if you're like, oh, you might as well just get a PC. I'm like, I feel like people should have had. I feel like people should have been had a PC at this. Like I feel like people should have been had a gaming rig. You know what I'm saying? Like if performance is something that you're concerned about, then you should have been had a fucking PC rig, right? Now, don't get me wrong.
yep.
Being playing on PC. Like there's some pitfalls there. You know, you got to be mindful of certain things. You got to fucking update your goddamn drivers. You know, if something stops working, you got to figure out the fuck is going on. Some people don't want to deal with that. I completely understand that as well. But like, yeah, the PS5 Pro is for like whoever wants it, you know. And if it's not you, that's fine. If it's someone else, that's fine. Again, I'm not a pocket watcher. I don't give a fuck what you spend your money on, as long as it's not hurting somebody else. Now, there's that idea of this could hurt us as consumers, because if people buy it, that shows Sony that they can get away with it. I'll keep it a stack with you. I don't think that this is gonna sell like crazy. Okay, like I don't think that this is gonna be some hit maker. I think
Nope.
that they're
It's
not gonna
it's
make a bunch. Go ahead.
it's gonna sell like the PS4 Pro. That's what it's gonna do. Like the 10 to 15 million, and that'll be it. Like that's basically what it is. Because only a select amount of people will actually play it. Because most people just stick with their base PS5, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing that they showed me in that little presentation that made me say, "Oh, I need to get a Pro." You know, I'll just wait for the PS6. And if the PS6 ends up being $700, babes, like we have several years before the PS6 comes out. All right, let's do a little calculator. You know what I'm saying? You know, if we save $50 every pay period, okay, so that's like $100 a month. All right, and the PS5, PS6 that is not coming out for a couple of years. You save $100 a month, all right, for 7, 8 months, you'll have the money. So you could just do that, save up, you know, like you could save up before the system comes out. And if you can't do the 50, do the 25. You still haven't, you have more than enough time, ample amount of time before these systems comes out for you to save up if you actually want a PS6. So I feel like for that as well. Now again, if you're living like paycheck to fucking paycheck, you can't afford anything else. Then again, a brand new gaming system is the least of your concerns. These consoles are luxuries. All right, these are luxury products. Okay, and of course, like people use gaming as escapism. People use gaming as like their main hobby. I get that as well. But at the end of the day, like if you are like struggling, buying the latest and greatest technology is the least of your concerns. There are other options. You don't need the latest and greatest. You can get something else and still achieve the same thing. They're still, I mean, fuck, dude, they're still putting games on PS4 at this point. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you're good, you know? So it is what it is. The anniversary edition looks really nice. Again, not anything that I would be interested in picking up, but it's cool for people who are interested and invested in that. Good for y'all. We all like different things, right? Like whatever. So, but anyway, like what's up, 2D games? What's up, Red Baron Aaron, CKG Capono, Nightcrawler, MJ, baby? How you doing? Sly, No Envy, Leaky, Brisky, Raja, Phil, Dion, Arcade, A Silent Saiyan. It's good to see y'all. I think I saw Drav earlier as well. So what's up, guys? King Metrochan was goody, my boy. Yeah, and don't go around begging or scamming for money either. Exactly. I mean, get in where you can fit in. Some folks, okay? Some folks are scammers by trade, and that shit works out for them. You know what I'm saying? So like, at this point, if you're getting scammed in this fucking community, get it together. There's no excuse. It's happened like 30 fucking times. You know, there's been like 18 fucking catfish. I'm being hyperbolic. It's been like 6. There's been like 6 catfish. There's been a certified hardcore scammer. I still cannot believe that shit with Dre happened. And being in that being in that Spaces call, and people were like initially defending him, and I was like, I went in there like, what are y'all talking about? He's scamming you. Like, are you serious? This whole like benefit of the doubt thing that people give, man, y'all better than me. That's all I gotta say. I'm so serious about like my fucking money, dude. Like, I would never play with that shit. But that's just me, you know?
of course.
So get in where you can fit in, you know what I'm saying? All right. So there's like a rumor that Horizon Zero Dawn is getting
Oh no.
oh no? Okay, there's a rumor that Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone are getting remasters. I feel like this has been like an ongoing rumor or something like that. Anyway, fuck you, PlayStation. I'm never getting Bloodborne. I'm just never getting fucking Bloodborne. I hope you choke, PlayStation. Honestly, like PlayStation as an entity, right? Hell yeah, I'm fucking mad about that. Like, at least give me a hint of like a remake or something. I'll take a Bloodborne remake over anything else. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a fucking remaster. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of PlayStation's most popular games, I guess. You know, people love that shit. It already looks fucking phenomenal. I don't think it needs a remaster.
Nope.
But whatever, we all like different things. Wish they could remaster Aloy's personality. Oh yeah, boo, 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 tomato, tomato, tomato. So many people made that joke. Whatever, right? But I'm just saying, like, fuck you, man. Like, I love Bloodborne. I don't care about fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't care about Days Gone, but you know, I'm sure other people do care about this. And considering what we're gonna talk about soon when it comes to how much money they spent on that bitch ass Concord, I understand perfectly why they're doing remasters. And Singer, what do you think about this?
Right. So the thing is, like, they clearly don't have any games coming up, and they need a big game. And they're gonna go, okay, let's remaster this. Let's throw it out. We'll charge whatever we want to charge for it, and people are gonna eat it up. And my problem with this is, how do you go? Okay, I'm gonna put it on PC as well when PC already has the best version of Horizon Zero Dawn. But you're putting it on PC? Okay, cool, whatever. It's probably not gonna do much. But it's just, why remaster a 2019 or 18 game? Like, it doesn't need a remaster. The only thing is, it's a cash grab. It's just something, it's a filler. It's like, oh, people will buy it PS5 Pro will come out. It'll launch with this, and they'll be like, oh yeah, and yeah. I don't know. It's just a complete waste of time, and Sony will do it because they know they could get away with it.
Like 100%, dude. 100%. And let's see here. Yeah, Saber in the chat, that one of my fucking favorite ponies is all like, you know, when Bloodborne does Horizon numbers, then we could talk. Man, fuck you. Okay, let me tell you something. With the Elden Ring experience, with the fact that Elden Ring blew up and was like everyone was playing this game, you're telling me that if they did a Bloodborne remake, people wouldn't be fucking playing that shit. I can guarantee you there would be people who had zero interest in Bloodborne picking that shit up, right? Zero interest in it initially, picking it up just off the basis that, like, oh my goodness, Elden Ring is so great. Let me just go back and play another one of FromSoft's other titles. Like, guarantee fucking to you, okay?
Mhm.
Man, I can't. Ooh, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Bloodborne is my favorite FromSoft title. 8 million is still good, you know, like that's still I'm sure it's actually a little bit more now. But yeah, that's still a good amount of sales. So listen, I would be in there like fucking swimwear, okay? I bought my PS5 solely for Demon Souls remake. I bought a full fucking system for Demon Souls remake, okay? They could make money for that. I remember I was listening to this podcast, Bonfire Side Chat, and they would have guests on, and the guests were like, I bought a PS4 for Bloodborne. Like, there was a couple of anecdotal, obviously, but there are people who, you know, hardcore Souls people, you know, they'll do what they gotta do to play these titles, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just saying, like, I want my fucking remake, okay? But shout out to No Envy Gaming, who's been a member for 46 months. Appreciate you saying, honestly, we're better off going PC at this point. I think we should have everything. I think for those who
Mhm.
can afford it, you should have every system. Every system.
Unless
You
you're
don't
not
need
interested in it.
yeah, you don't need an Xbox at this point because that's on everything, right? But like everything else, you know? Yeah, Bloodborne would do better on PC. I agree. So, all right, favor, you know, just saying. Um, Elden Ring came out after Demon Souls. Let's turn this on, man. I'm talking about if it's like a new release. Not talking solely about people going back to play something. But anyway, there should be a 10-year rule for a remaster. I remember when people, oh my god, I remember when we got the Dead Space remake announcement, And people are like, why are folks okay with a Dead Space remake, but they're not okay with a Horizon Zero Dawn remake or remaster? I'm like, because Horizon Zero Dawn came out 5 years ago and Dead Space came out 15? Like, what are you saying right now? And don't get me wrong, Dead Space remake was a flop. Hate to hear it, hate to see it. But man, I'm still happy I got it. That shit was fucking amazing. I love me some Dead Space. So I'm just like, at the end of the day, these corporations, they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to make money, obviously. Even if that means that I'm not going to be happy with it. It is what it is, but I'm just kind of like, I don't care about this, but that's okay. This is not for me. Maybe some other people who love that Horizon, again, it already looks so good. I don't know. It's just kind of like, I feel like remakes and remasters should be for games that like look like ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that were really good back in the day, just awesome games, but they just like, they look like ass now if you play them. Like, fuck you, BioWare, but I would definitely play a Dragon Age Origins remake. I'm just saying, like, they could easy fucking money. Okay. I'm just saying. And that's the one that everyone dick rides to. That would be easy fucking money. Like, there's people who are like, I just love Dragon Age. They only played Origins. They only play Origins, right? And they're like, they critique everything else despite only fucking playing Origins, choke to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying, like, this whole concept of people being like, oh, BioWare, oh, their combat for the new game is so disgusting. It's just like they're not returning the form. I'm like, returning the form, bitch. Origins came out like a decade ago. More than a decade ago. Get it together. Damn, was it a decade ago? Yeah, more than a decade ago. Like, let that shit go, man. They've already had 2 games between it. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, I'm talking about 2 and Inquisition. God damn. Anyway, a shout out to Meat Puppet's been remembered for 43 months, saying with the new anniversary edition, the scalpers will be out in full force. That's facts. That's facts. A shout out to Dixon with the super chat saying Concord, Suicide Squad, Dustborn, and Star Wars flops. Star Wars. Oh yeah, Outlaws. Yeah, shit's looking a little.
Yeah.
Stop putting out trash, and then maybe it wouldn't flop. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Like, stop putting out garbage. So, I don't care about this remaster, but for whoever does, I'm happy for y'all. Fuck you, honestly, PlayStation, honestly speaking. But yeah, I'm happy for y'all, right? All right, so let's talk about let's talk about the $400 million elephant in the room. Okay, so Singer, can you bring up that I put it in the private chat? Can you like click on that Forbes site and just bring that shit up, and so I can share your screen and so I can put it up?
All right, let me present share screen. Forbes.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the $400 million elephant in the room. Okay, so Colin Moriarty of Sacred Symbols fame, right? He came through, and his source told him he claims that the game cost $400 million, broken up into 2 halves of development. Now, that does not mean PlayStation spent $400 million, right? That means that before they purchased the game, they already had spent a significant amount of money on that garbage flop that came out. Okay, so okay, so I mean, listen. So they were talking about internally, the game was referred to as the future of PlayStation with Star Wars like potential. Honestly speaking, is that not apt? Because Star Wars is flopping right now. That actually makes perfect sense. It's flopping right now. So Star Wars like potential, listen, it lived up to the Star Wars like potential. I would say,
That's hilarious.
it overcame the Star Wars like potential because they're both fucking flops right now, right? But yeah, apparently there was a developer culture of toxic positivity, which I fucking believe. because these bums in this gaming industry. Oh, why are you guys being so negative about the game? Why are you guys? My developer friends work so hard on it. Tell your developer friends sucks to suck. Okay, like I hate to say it because at the end of the day, it is the people who are in charge. It is management's fault, right? I get
Yep.
that. But at the same time, art exists to be consumed, and part of that consumption is critique. Okay, and if you can't handle the critique, then you're in the wrong field. Like I fucking hate to say, I understand it hurts to have your art criticized. I get that concept, right? I definitely understand. But at the same time, it's like there's no growth without the potential for feedback, without the potential for critique. If you can't handle people being like, dude, your shit is trash, when your shit is trash, then this is just not the right place for you, unfortunately. It again, it hurts, it sucks, it's awful, but it's something that you have to contend with. So the fact that there's like a culture of toxic positivity makes perfect sense to me, because there's so many people in the media, so many people in the industry who like just cap. They're fucking cappers, dude. They're fucking cappers. They're liars. They're always acting like you're the fucking terrible person if you got some smoke for one game or another. Like, no, bro, this shit is just trash. Okay, it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that the game is trash. Like, I will give an example. I got jumped. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. I got jumped because I made a joke. It was a little jokey joke about the Saints Row reboot failing to the point where the studio got shut down. Okay, I made a joke, right? And like, I said, I was like, it sucks that whoever was in charge screwed them over so badly and they get the shit end of the stick. But at the same time, there were also the fucking social media was all talking hard. They were talking shit. They were talking shit about gamers, and I'm just like, damn, y'all better make sure this shit is fucking fire, because if it's not, you're gonna end up looking stupid as hell, and that's what they did. They looked dumb as hell. But I got some
Yep.
people, and I got some industry folks who were like, "How dare you? You are a terrible fucking person. You're an evil person for saying such a thing." I'm like, bro, that shit was ass, dude. Like, I mean, listen, it was received poorly. It was received poorly and considered ass. Okay, did I play it myself? No, I can't say definitively it was ass because I didn't play it. But the perception, okay, the way it was taken, all right, the critiques that were out there, people were like, no, this fucking sucks. All right. I hate to say it. I'm sorry to say it. Sucks to suck. But yeah, there is a culture of toxic positivity. You've seen it. I've seen it. We've all seen it. It is what
Yep.
it is. I definitely believe it. The fact that these idiots spent so much fucking money on this is actually fucking baffling to me. The fact that there was no one who had the authority to be like, this looks like ass. Like, we gotta get it together is absolutely fucking baffling to me. So let's continue going through.
Yep.
Um
You want
so
where I'm at? Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. You want to read that?
All right. So what happened before the game hit alpha state? They'd already spent 200 million on it. Unclear how much from original owners, investors, and how much is from Sony. All right. So after that, 2021 to 2024 launch, Sony spent another 200 million on it. The game was in laughable shape when it was shown in the alpha state. So Sony felt like they needed to spend that much to get it to the minimal viable product status. Which, I mean, you would need like another 200 million more on top of what they already spent to get that to even be an enjoyable game. But that's just my opinion. Then they said a major expense was needed to outsource much of the game to other studios. In Q1 2023, some aspects of the game had not been worked on at all, like onboarding and monetization. I'd say this may explain the price and no battle passes, more than some conscious noble decision to change the model. Also, how bad the earned cosmetics were. That's completely spot on. The earned cosmetics were absolutely horrible. Like you could clearly tell, so yeah, that makes sense. Ongoing cost to maintain game would be additional millions a month. That can't be right, surely. Millions a month to keep the
Well, the
game
thing of
going?
it is like considering how many people worked on the game, you have to pay all those budgets too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, yeah. Concord is the biggest budget game Sony has ever released. The biggest loss they've ever taken. There are other games being worked on at Sony that cost more than this, but in terms of what's already out, this is the largest. It's a total loss. Okay, so from that we can tell that it was garbage. They tried to put money in it to make it not garbage, and then it still fell flat. So shout out to Sony. But then, why did it happen? Concord was said to be the future of PlayStation. Yeah, okay, if that's your future, it's probably not a future for most people. They said it was a Star Wars like project, which, as Lucas stated, yeah, it lived up to the Star Wars potential. There were big multimedia plans between the cinematics and inclusion in things like Amazon's Secret Level. Now, that is something that I'm interested in. Now the game has flopped, do they take it out to Secret Level? Or do they still do it? What do you think,
honestly
Luca?
speaking, yeah, they need to take that shit out, bro. Like they get that shit out of here. Okay?
Uh,
That only would have worked if it had been successful. So
mm-hmm. And the cinematics were bad as well because they were in the game, and Overwatch showed you the template, and they put their cinematics on YouTube. For those who care, go to YouTube and go watch them. Fantastic. If you don't care, then you don't have to get bombarded with them. But then there was a culture of toxic positivity vibe where you could not say anything negative internally about the game, character designs, etc. Because I guarantee you, there were a ton of people who were like, these character designs are ass. Wouldn't you say so?
mhm.
Like, there's a reason why you weren't allowed to say anything negatively internally, because I'm sure there was quite a few people working on the game who were like, yeah, this is gonna flop.
Yeah,
No
because
one
like
was gone.
there was like there's this YouTuber and he does like redesigns and redrawings of like video game characters. And so he's been doing redrawings of the Concord characters. I'm like, yeah, I would definitely play his version of the game. Like the characters look much better with his version, you know?
Yep.
And it's like the character like I know we've harped on it, but that shit was a problem, dude. Like that shit was spooky, man. They just were not appealing at all. They're not appealing to the eye, man.
They really aren't. And then, as it states, no one was allowed to meaningfully change the course of the game. See, this is the thing. They should have. They should have. After the first 200 million, they should have changed course when Sony stepped in and said, look, this isn't it. But shout out to Herman Holst. So it wasn't Jim Ryan. It's
Mm.
Herman Holst, baby, who is a massive champion of the game. So now everyone over there, PlayStation, should be side eyeing Herman because this is your guy that was gonna, deliver PlayStation to greatness, and he absolutely loved this game. I mean, if this is what he loves, then I mean, you
Clearly,
need to
he
put.
needs to get like his eyes checked or something, dude. Like, does Herman Holtz even play games? Like, what does he talk? Does he like? Is he someone
Well,
who would know if a game is good or not?
I mean, he did do Horizon, right?
Mm,
And before that, he did like Killzone and stuff. So,
mm.
because he was at Gorilla before he got promoted to that position, so he knows how to
Sometimes,
make a game. But
sometimes a person who's good at their job is not good in a leadership position.
yes, and clearly Herman is there. And I agree, some of this still seems so strange. Budget aside, as given AAA bloat these days, I can
Hmm.
believe that. But how do you look at a game in a laughable state in alpha 2 years ago, scramble to outsource work to get it finished, and still believe it's the future of PlayStation and a potential Star Wars like property? And that's it right there. How? To see Herman was like, okay, it's complete trash. Let's quickly pump something out. See, now this is where I think this wasn't a Hiroki Totoki decision, because I'm sure he probably would have axed it.
Mhm.
But Herman Hulst was like, no, let's do it. This is the thing with the two different heads now, because it got two different people. So I'm sure Hiroki was looking at the budget and the fact it flopped, and they probably had an argument in the office. You know, he probably rang up him and was like, "Yo, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Explanations. I need a written email by tomorrow." Um, so I don't know. I really don't know.
I
Star
don't know
Wars
what they could have been thinking either, dude. But continue.
Star Wars competition comparisons are always a tall order. Well, I mean, considering Star Wars is in a sorry ass state right now, not really. We hear that said about the goal of Bungie's Destiny back in the day. Yeah, but Bungie Destiny was actually successful though. And Star Wars comparisons, I mean, I could see it for Destiny, right?
Mhm.
You know, but
I mean,
Destiny,
the space aspect of it, yeah.
yeah. But as he says, but Destiny succeeded and lasted for 10 years. Concord lasted for 2 weeks. when you when you put it in that perspective, uh, that is yeah, that's not good. And then I guess this is the toxic positivity, which has been confirmed by other sources.
Mhm.
Where even if that sounds ridiculous, you can't say that, especially if this game was cradled by the entire head of Sony Interactive. I'd argue putting this much faith in a game that bad is almost fully disqualifying for that role.
Mm. That's
Um,
fair.
I mean, I mean that is fair. Like you're the head, and yet you put out this.
Mhm.
So should you be the head of PlayStation Interactive? I mean, the head of Firewalk has already stepped down, and it seems close to impossible the team survives, either dissolved into other studios or shut down entirely. I would,
Okay.
yep.
So, did I not say that, like, 2 weeks ago, Singer?
Mhm.
I was like, "No, they're definitely shutting this fucking studio down," like, in my opinion,
Mhm.
and weren't you like, "No, they're not gonna do that?" Like, maybe they won't, but do
No,
you
I
still think
was.
the same or
No, no, no. I said it was going to get shut down.
okay.
Um, the only reason I said it wouldn't get shut down is because they need to make a game called Titanic. Um,
Oh,
but you
that's
know,
right, you made
but
a joke, that's right, okay,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, they were. Yeah, you just blew 400 million, 200 million of Sony and 200 million of your own or investors. Like, yeah, no, you're getting closed down. The entire shit's getting shut down. I reckon they'll get dissolved into other studios in PlayStation though. Like
Mhm.
Firewalk will no longer exist, and they'll just get siphoned off to other studios. This is arguably the biggest video game disaster in history by financial loss, and I agree. And people try to downplay it, like, oh, you know, no, like everyone harps on other people's losses. PlayStation had the biggest, bar none, and there needs to be someone held responsible. It should not be the rank and file workers in a situation. And I agree. Herman Hulse needs to, Hiroki needs to go report to the head of Sony and be like, yo, this is what happened. Herman needs to get his ass out of there because he just blew 200 million of our money for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And you just blew 200 million. That is absolutely insane. So
Yeah,
I completely agree.
use some of Hermit's, fucking salary to recoup some of that loss, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, it's bad, dude. It's just really, really bad. And it's like when I first saw this number, and again, like, it has not been confirmed. These are still rumors and everything, right? When I first saw, I was like, 400,000,000? You're fucking joking, dude. Like, I don't believe that shit. But then as more information came out, like Soma was sending me a bunch of stuff. And then it's like you think about it's mostly from the perspective of seeing the people who are working on the game. And it's just kind of like, oh man, there were a lot of people working on this game. And also like it is expensive to continue maintaining a studio and making sure you pay everyone industry standards. Like, yeah, I definitely can see where the cost went. Somo also mentioned, he said, like, they did those the cutscenes were fully captured and everything like that. So I definitely at this point I'm like, well, shit, like, I don't want to believe that shit is true, but if it's true, then what else can I really say? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
this is one of those situations that just has me scratching my head and looking at the studio with like a bit of like skepticism. 'Cause I'm just like, why would you guys think that this would be successful? There's like nothing about it that appeals to me in the sense that there's nothing about it that I would be interested in playing, and there was nothing about it I was interested in playing. Like it
Mhm.
did not appeal to me um in any aspect. And I remember when I used to like try out different multiplayer games with the boys just to see what was up, and I like man, I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, and I've been having that nah, I'm good for several games for several years, but especially this, there's just like the gameplay wasn't interesting enough to me. The story, the little story that was there, the concept of it was not interesting to me. The character designs, again, we're harping on it. They just did not appeal to me at all. I was like, no, this is just not it, right? So I don't
Yep.
really get like what what was it that they saw in this title that made them say, "Oh, this shit is about to be a hit. This shit's about to be fire." Like I don't understand what they saw that had them having that perspective. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's like, why? Like, what? Why would you think that this was it? You know? So,
Yep.
so go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's really, really weird how like they clearly knew it was a bad game internally, but Herman wanted them to put it out. So they're like, okay, we'll put it out, sure. But then you had to have realized that the game is ass. Like, I'm sorry to say, like these people must have realized it. And Herman made a decision to bring it out, and the gamers said, hell no. And I don't blame him because you're coming into this free to play market with all these shooters, with all these great skins, character models, and you're coming out with this. And it's like, where's the chase? Like, I play Fortnite because I like the skins and the battle passes, right? Battle passes are really cool. Like they had who's the who's the woman that replaced Black Panther in the comics? I can't remember her name. Um
Shuri?
yeah, Shuri. Like she's in the battle pass.
Okay.
Course I'm going to want to get in on that action. So I got it, picked up the Iron Man skin. Like these are all things people want. But then you have just the people who want to play this game. Shout out to the 69 people who got the platinum as well. I'm all over the place on this because I've already said it like 10 episodes now across different podcasts, mooches, and everything. Like the game, it just wasn't it. And you could tell it wasn't it. Like this is not the game. And clearly no one got the hint. So
And I remember when, and I've said this before, I remember when the game was first announced, and I was just like, maybe I'm just bitter. Like, maybe I'm just like, maybe I've just been in this community for so long, and I'm just like, I just don't know how to have fun anymore. I don't know how to enjoy things anymore. I took one look at it and I was like, absolutely fucking not, right? Like, maybe I'm just like, old and bitter or something, right? But clearly there were more people who had that kind of mentality where they're just like, this is not it, as I did. So
yep,
honestly speaking, like sucks to suck, I guess. Like it sucks to fucking suck. There's nothing else I can really say about it. Now, again, we don't know for sure if this is true. It's not been confirmed yet. There have been like other people discussing it. There's been like nothing not no full confirmation there, right? So it's just kind of like that concept and that idea. It's like it's a rumor that we're discussing, right? But again,
yep,
if it turns out that this is true, that's is probably like the biggest mistake that Sony has ever made, honestly speaking. And I don't know. That's a lot of money to lose, dude. That is a lot of money to lose. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see even more remasters. You know, if they take even more of their established IP that has been super successful, and it's like, okay, here's another remaster. Where's my God of War remaster? You know, like I feel like that's coming too. It came out in 2018. Yeah, that's definitely after Horizon Zero Dawn for sure, dude. So I feel like that's coming as well. What else has done well that might end up getting a remaster? Let me see. PlayStation. Give me their I just remember there was this the Spider-Man remaster. I forgot about that.
There was
Uh,
The Last of Us 2 remastered.
the Last of Us 2 got
2.
remastered?
No,
And
wait,
what?
unless it got released on PC.
No, I think it was just released on PC. There was a Last of Us remake, the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm. But The Last of Us 2 a remaster, that shit's gonna come eventually.
You know it's gonna come.
Mhm. Let's see here. Let's do PlayStation 4 games list. And then we can can go through and see like out of those which ones might end up getting remakes. I'm let's see here. I'm having some difficulty because of course I've already done like the big ones, but let's see here. PS4 Metacritic titles. You know, okay, so yeah, there's God of War, fucking Bloodborne. Like, you know, where's my Bloodborne at? You know, like I would spend such good money to play that shit again. But yeah, we already got Ghost, we got The Last of Us remaster. Damn, y'all, what other games did PlayStation come out with?
Recently?
They did remaster
Yeah.
The Last of Us Part 2? Really?
Yeah, I knew it wasn't
No,
crazy.
they haven't remastered The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think so. No, that came out in
No, okay, yeah.
2019 and no, I know. I thought they just did a PS5 update.
Yeah, I think it was just an update, wasn't it? Did people have
Yeah,
to
it was
pay?
just an
Did people
update for
pay for that?
PS5, but that did they
Did
came
people
out
pay
with
for that?
DLC. No, the people pay for the DLC. The
Oh,
DLC is
okay.
like a not a horror mode, but it's kind of like that.
Wow, they've done so much with The Last of Us. I can't even remember what they did. The Last of Us 2 remaster.
They remastered
Oh my
that?
god, they remastered it. Not us fucking
Wha-
forgetting. Hold
Okay.
on.
They do so many remasters. It's just like you can't keep track. I mean,
I thought they did remaster it. Yeah, I knew it
No, they
wasn't
did.
crazy.
It
I
was
think a Days
$40.
Gone
I'm sorry, it was
remaster
$50.
is ridiculous. Like the rumors that there may be a Days Gone remaster,
Wow.
especially considering we already know that like Sony Ben decided to not do a sequel.
Oh, okay, Phil.
So it's just
Okay,
I
that
don't know,
makes sense.
but
Okay, yeah, so you could pay the $10 if you had the PS4 game. It was 50 if you didn't have the game. Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you guys. I'm so sorry. We clearly all fucking forgot.
yeah,
So, yeah, and
yeah.
then they have the
Wow,
Until Dawn remake that's coming. Have they done a
I'm
Ratchet
getting
and
that.
Clank
I've already
remaster yet?
pre-ordered that. What Rift Apart?
No, a Ratchet and Clank is that the first one?
You mean the one from 2016?
Yeah, you know, maybe they'll do a remaster of that.
They might, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, why
So they
not,
might do
right?
a
They're
remaster of that at
remastering
that point.
everything. They're doing a remaster of Gravity Rush
Mm,
and a TV show or a movie or
a
something. Which
TV show?
I actually think that'd be pretty dope
Hmm.
considering just the content of it.
Mhm.
But it's just weird seeing them remaster games that they clearly don't have any faith in because they shut down Sony Japan that made
Mhm.
Gravity Rush. And so, I mean, there might be, I think whoever's doing the remaster maybe if it's all successful, like if they decide to do a Gravity Rush 3, or Remaster 2, then you could probably see them doing the same way. I think the name of the developer that's doing the Until Dawn remake is called Ballistic Moon, and they're all former devs of Supermassive Games who did the original Until Dawn. So if you could find like, enough people who worked on the project before and they're motivated, then yeah, you could probably bring back some of these IP. I just don't understand why they just want to do Bloodborne. I mean, because like no one's really. I'm a big Until Dawn fan. Even I wasn't asking for a remake. I mean, the game looks pretty decent. The original game from 2015 already looks pretty decent. But Bloodborne has got horrible frame pacing. Barely keeps the 30 FPS for according to the people who played it. Looks ugly. Like just come on.
Yeah, not too much. Not too much. Not too much of my baby. All right, not too much of my baby. Relax.
Hey, I'm just saying. Relax. I'm just saying it could use it. But give me a second, because my kids is calling me. I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, like, yeah, that's my thing as well. I'm like, damn, like, fucking, how did Gravity Rush sell? How much did Gravity Rush sell? Let me look this shit up. Gravity Rush sales. Let me look this baby up. So it looks like for the Gravity Rush, let's see, Reddit is saying 7 million. I don't know about that. Let me look at this. How much did Gravity Rush sell, guys? You guys know? Does anybody know off the top of their head? I'm just curious. I mean, that game is like old, super old, dude. So
yeah,
like I don't think Gravity Rush sold like a whole fucking bunch. So why is it getting a fucking? Why did it get a remaster? Explain that to me. Where the fuck is my Bloodborne remake? My Bloodborne remaster? Anything? I'll take anything at this point. Like I love that game so much. I got the platinum for it. Like, come on, man. I feel cucked. You know, I feel cucked. Every remaster has a TV show, movie in the works. Bloodborne has a movie coming, so I'd expect a PS6. Baby, Miko, look at this. Let me tell you something, Miko. If Sony was like, we're doing a Bloodborne remake for PS6, and it's a PS6 exclusive, I'm giving them my money. Okay? I will buy a PS6. They'll be like $700. I'm like, okay, here it is. Take my fucking money. Because Bloodborne is an established good game. That is like, in my opinion, From Software's best game, in my opinion, in regards to the lore, mostly in regards to the lore, and also in regards to the DLC. The Old Hunters DLC is the best DLC, in my opinion, that they've created. It's my favorite DLC that they've created. It's the one that makes the most sense and connects to the story, and recontextualizes the lore the best way. It's my favorite. I also think oh my goodness, Artorias of the Abyss is also, I would say, is the second best contender for recontextualizing the base game. So that's also very good, right? So yeah, I'm just kind of like, yeah, $700 PS6 with a Bloodborne remake. They're getting my money. Like, I hate to fucking say it. Yeah. Corporate cuck me, right? I'll give them my fucking money for that. I love Bloodborne. I will enjoy the fuck out of that shit, and I will be happy about it. All right, they'll just take my money. But it's just like I was saying before. The PS6 is not coming out for a long time. I can just save up. Like I could $50 out of my paycheck is not a lot for me to be saving up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying, Singer? Like, if the PS6 doesn't come out for another 2 years, I'll have more than enough by the time it actually comes out to get the system. That's what I did for every single system that I have. I saved up. Okay, I saved up for the PS5. I saved up for the Series X. I that's what I do. I save my money to get the shit that I want. And I feel like that's like a mentality that people are just not considering. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that aspect as well. So listen, take my fucking money, Sony. Like that's definitely any FromSoft title that they do. Yeah, they got me, guys. I fucking hate to say it, but they got me. And I have no shame. All right, and you can't say I don't play my fucking games. Rest in peace to Optimus Code. Shout out to him. I remember he was on my ass. He was like, I remember we had a conversation, and he made like a comment about me not beating Demon Souls before Christmas, and I beat that shit, and I was like, "What's good, baby? What's up?" And he was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Okay, what about that platinum though?" I was like, "I got the platinum. Okay, platinum before Christmas. What's up?" And he's like, "Okay, damn, bitch. I got, shout out to you." So shout out to him for that. I remember that being a defining conversation back in the day as well. So yeah. Shout out to Face23 BKNY. What GPU do you have, Luca? I have a 3070. So paying for a PS4 Pro is wild. Sony are some snake oil salesmen. Yeah,
Hey, Luca, they missed an opportunity.
What's up?
They should have called it the PS5 Remastered because that's what they're good at.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one. Honestly, Steam Deck is the best gaming device this generation. Can't say I disagree. Wish I had me a little Steam Deck. Is Concord Sony's biggest failure, or was it Morbius and Madam Web worse money wise? I would say Concord probably. I think I would say Concord was probably the worst. AA and indie games are a lot better. Okay. Already emulated on PC, Luca. $700. Is that on sale? If it's just like the base console, then yeah. Because I don't know. I don't really think I'll care enough about a disc tray. I don't even know if they would offer one, to be honest. So Gravity Rush sold all right. Gravity Rush 2 flopped bad. Okay. Here's my thing. Xbox had a successful merger. Okay, but Amy Hood is supposedly taking over and wants money, but Hiroki Totoki is fine with Concord and Bungie. I don't think Hiroki Totoki is fine with Concord and Bungie, especially not Bungie at this point. So, okay. I wish they would stop remastering PS4 games and that we can already play on PS5 and move on to PS3 or older generations. Yeah, guys, would you guys take? Listen, guys, would you guys take something like a God of War remake, like the first God of War? I already know that they did like a remaster collection, but like a remake of the first God of War. What do you guys think about that? I feel like that would be pretty fucking awesome. I feel like that would be dope. I think that would be a good one. Let's
see, that would be a good one, but what they're gonna do is remake Ragnarok or 2018.
Yeah, they're gonna they're definitely gonna
remaster 'em. Yeah, huh?
I definitely know that fucking remaster is coming, bro. Like that shit 100%. Like not even a fucking question, dude. But yeah, I think what in the world? I forgot that the first Last of Us was PlayStation 3. Oh my god. Holy fuck, dude. I forgot. But yeah, I think a remake for the first God of War, bitch. Like I would fucking be on that shit. Actually, wasn't the first God of War? Sorry, that was PlayStation 2, right? First God of War was
Yep.
PlayStation. So yeah, that would be dope. I would definitely play that. And then what other remakes could they do? Bitch, remake Infamous. All right. I know, guys. I know it didn't sell super well. Remake Infamous. I would play Infamous. I would definitely hop on that. And then maybe the first Uncharted, that could be a good one to like remake, not remaster, like a remake. I feel like they have stuff in their back pocket that they'd be like, yeah, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that, because like shit's looking spooky, you know. And these games are, I would say, guaranteed hits because they're already super popular. You know, they are already games that did very well when they first came out. So I could definitely see them doing that as well, and I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad at them because of that. It's something that actually it sucks, and I know that like concept of I want new games, I want new games. I definitely get that for sure. You want new good games, but as it stands, bitch, as it stands right now, shit is looking spooky, man. It's looking bad. The industry, they're spending too much fucking money on shit that's flopping hard, man. So it's like one of those things where you're like, damn, what can you really do? I've not seen that, no. Let me grab this. Shout out to Black Metal Gamer saying remake of old Greek Kratos would be nerfed in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it would be. I think that if they were to do a full remake, they would have Kratos as vicious and awesome as he was initially as well. And then shout out to Phase 23 Brooklyn saying thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake, big differences on PS5 Pro. Honestly speaking, I don't know what the differences are. I'd probably have to ask Slomo. I would assume that he'd be more inclined to have that information because he is a Final Fantasy VII fan. So,
I mean, from what I've
Yeah,
seen. Oh, go on.
Go ahead,
Go on,
go ahead,
Salman.
Singer. Go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, from what I've seen, it's got a visual upgrade, and the frame rate is what would be It's basically quality mode with performance's frame rate. Is what I can see so far. The frame rate still dips a bit, but I mean, it's doing what personally what I think the PS5 Pro is supposed to do, which is better resolution, attempt to get to 60 FPS, and I think it fulfilled that with Final Fantasy VII, as far as I'm aware. Now, I'm sure Slomo can inform us more if I'm wrong on that, but
Essentially what they did was they took the sharpness of fidelity mode and then they applied that to the performance mode. If you play the game on PS5, the performance mode is very blurry, but it does stay locked at 60 frames per second. And a few weeks after the launch of the game, they released I think it was like balance mode or something like that, or it was called performance mode smooth or something like that, where they made it a little bit sharper, but it still wasn't that much better. Where the PS5 Pro version is significantly better in the visual aspect of things, which is great because it's a game that is running on Unreal Engine 4. So it's a game that the CPU for the PS5 Pro and PS5 really wouldn't have too many issues with running. And then it's just really about the GPU at that point, which we know the PS5 Pro GPU is better than the regular standard. So that's why it looks better, but the mileage will vary with the PS5 Pro. So you'll get a good improvement like with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and then you'll have situations where, like with Alan Wake 2, it's not that much of a difference, you know?
All right. Okay. So, you got any thoughts on Concord flopping the ledge flop? I mean, it was a flop, but the 400 million, and yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of taken aback by the number, as most people were, because that don't look like $400 million unless like they did like 3 movies worth of cutscenes for this game that they never got a chance to show. So, and I've seen some people purport that it's not that much, as well as like devs who really weren't connected to the game in the studio, but other people who believe they got information that says differently. I do think it is true about the whole toxic positivity aspect of things, because I mean, they clearly didn't like accept the feedback that actual gamers were giving them when it was in beta. People said they didn't like the characters. People said they thought the movement was too slow. A lot of the feedback that people gave them, apparently they knew internally already, but just didn't. No one was allowed to say it. And then you kind of see just the reaction of things when it came to developers on Twitter talking to other fans. They were not very receptive of the criticism. And sure, you're going to get people, because they put the pronouns in the game, you're going to get the people who are going to be like, you know, DEI this and that, and they're separate because we know what their issue is. But legitimate constructive criticism was largely ignored, and the people who gave that were all thrown into the same box as everyone else. And so if that's how you react when actual gamers see your game, it doesn't shock me that internally, people could be, other developers saying, hey, maybe this isn't going to work. And they're just like, shut up. Shout out to Day Reezy for gifting 5 subs to 5 memberships to people in the channel. Shout out to him.
Shout out to you, my boy. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. Say thank you, Viper XT. Say thank you, Black Metal Gamer. Say thank you, Gregor. Say thank you, Michael. And say thank you, Lino. Appreciate it, my boy. Thank you. Luca 2025 will be legendary for third party, but I'm a Witcher and Metal Gear fan. And those are good things to be fans of, okay? Especially that Witcher shit, my boy. It's fire. Damn, I'm like really thinking about it. Like, should I try playing The Witcher 2 on PC again? Because I was trying to play that shit at my Xbox a very long while ago. And those controls, bitch. But I'm down for that Witcher remake, bitch. I will be there in like fucking swimwear, like day one. I'm a day one for that too. So, but yeah, it was just too much. They spent too much money allegedly, and they were just never going to get. Yeah, like what were they expecting? Truly, I mean, I know what they were expecting. Star Wars level. Yeah, it's on Star Wars level. It's a flop.
Yeah, and let's say the number is inaccurate. Let's say it's 150 million that they lost off of it. They didn't make any money off the game. Literally no money, because whatever money, very little money they made, they gave all that back to the people who bought the game. So you made nothing. You spent a lot of money. If it's true that Herman Hulse thought this was going to be the game for PlayStation, that Herman Hulse thought this could be their Star Wars, this man needs to not be in the role that he's in. Because if you are the head of first party, if you are the one who is the arbiter of what gets greenlit and what doesn't get greenlit, you suck. Because you're really bad at your job. If you thought this was going to be, for it to be what you thought would be a major hit, and for it to be the biggest failure that PlayStation has ever had, when you look at it and comparatively to other games, like they've had flops before, not many, but for this to make zero money, to be pulled off of the store and people refunded within 2 weeks, this is your worst failure. And this is what you thought was going to be good. I think he may be somewhat saved by, because Sony ain't got a problem getting rid of people. But I think he's somewhat saved by the fact that they just promoted him to co-CEO, and it would look bad on them to fire a guy they just promoted like a few months ago. It would look like, you don't know, now people like shareholders will look at you and like, you don't know how to evaluate the right people for the role. So I think he may have a little bit more time. But if Marathon and Fair Games, which are their next titles, come out and they also flop, I think it's going to be a wrap for him within the next year, if that is the case. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But
get his ass up out of here.
Yeah. I don't think he's. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is. I mean, that he came from Guerrilla, and very pretty game, very very pretty game. That's about all as much as I can really say about it. Really, I don't know if this guy really has an eye to kind of manage and maintain all of this stuff. He ain't that dude, I don't think. So we'll see what happens though.
He ain't that guy.
You see what Saber said in the chat? He said
he'll be just fine.
No, he said, how many flops have Phil and Matt had? Why aren't you guys campaigning for those guys to lose their jobs? I'm like, do
Saber,
you have,
are
like,
you? Say, do you have like amnesia or something? I swear these fanboys lose all memory. Anytime they get triggered when they start defending their platform, they just forget literally anything and everything you've ever said. Like this dude ain't here every week. Like he hasn't heard us say the exact same things that he just said. Why aren't you guys doing multiple times? So the first time ever, we have suggested that a Sony executive should lose his job, and you just forget that we've suggested that all the Xbox executives except for Sarah Bond lose their jobs already. Are you out of your mind?
He said it's retrograde.
Oh, it better be. The heck you talking about, yo?
I'm like, I was like, do you have some like sort of cognitive dissonance? Like, what is going on, man? Like, what is explain this? What are you saying? Like, he's here every single week. I don't understand. Every week. Like, he must not be listening when we're speaking, bro. I mean, I think that's what it is. So anyway, for anybody new who might be listening, which I doubt, but like, yeah, we've been talked about Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, especially from Slow Mo. Are you serious? He's been dogging that man for fucking 2 years at this point. So anyway, we just move on from that. So yeah.
Good grief.
What are you talking about, man? Just yapping at this point. All right. So anyway, can you share your screen for this one? Singer, the first one, that Park Place.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Thank you, sir. Well, I knew that would get you, dude. I knew that you'd be like, nah, bro, you must be tripping. Yeah.
I have nicknamed him a Chihuahua, and it's like, how come you haven't suggested he be fired yet? I mean, do I need to give him a wholesome nickname too?
I think I know that Jack calls him Big Head.
He does have a massively big head. It's not in proportion to the rest of his body. Plus, he's got receding hairline, so it just makes it even worse.
Come on, stall him out, Slow Mo. Goddamn. All right, so anyway, moving on from that. So Dragon Age, the Veilguard character creator has options for some top surgery scars. I think this is like the only mainstream game I've ever heard of that has includes the option to have top surgery scars, which is interesting. You can also choose your pronouns. So there is she, her, he, him, and they, them, separately from gender, and select different body types and more, right? So, there are people that were complaining about this. First of all, a bunch of tourists were coming through, whining and bitching and complaining, calling Dragon Age woke. I've talked about this before. You could be gay in the first Dragon Age, okay? It's been woke, all right? It's been fucking woke, okay? They already had the L and the G and the B, okay? And now they're just including the T, all right? So they're giving you some non-binary options with that they, them, and they're letting you choose whether or not, like, whatever, right? So anyway,
Luca, real quick, could you just look at the DM, the picture I just sent you? I just want to hear your reaction to it.
Alrighty. Now, come on, Slow Mo. Come on. Now, come on, Slow Mo.
Oh my God,
man. God damn.
It's so good. It's perfect.
Jesus.
Oh man.
I'm gonna send this to Singer.
Yeah, please
he's
do.
gonna love that. He's gonna love that. Queen of the longbacks is what I call her.
Jesus.
Let's see. Oh, damn. Like like a wooden board?
Basically. Okay,
an iron board? Yeah.
So we have allegedly a diversity of body types and all that shit, right? Which is dope, whatever, right? Anyway, I was like, earlier today, BG was talking and he was like, hello, like, why aren't there diversity in body types in regards to having like a thicker body type? You know what I'm saying? You know, he was showing off a screenshot of the character slider, and seemingly from the character slider. Matter of fact, let me send you guys this. Again, I can't share my screen because my shit crashes because, you know, I don't know why. I'm sure it's like some sort of driver issue. I don't know, dude. I don't know at this point. But anyway, I'm going to send this. If you guys could share your screen with this as well. So share BG's tweet and then also my tweet in response as well. That'd be great. But basically, BG was like, regarding the Dragon Age Veilguard outrage, the people complaining about pronouns, top surgery, or whatever are definitely outrage grifters. And that's a fact. They are outrage grifters. Mad at options you can ignore. But it's very weird that you cannot make your character any thicker than Taylor Swift in an inclusive RPG about freedom and choice. It's not something I personally care about, but it is odd and seems intentional. And so I was just like, wait a minute, hold on. That's actually a really good point. Why can't you do that? Like, I'm all for inclusivity and everything like that, right? But, you know, I think there should be inclusivity in regards to body types as well, right? And so I said that, and then one of my boys, he hit me up. Shout out to DJ. He showed me a screenshot where it's like, okay, you can make the character thicker than some oatmeal. Like you can actually do that. And so it has me kind of scratching my head, thinking like, okay, is this a case in which, what did I say to him? And that's a good point. This other person made a good point. I was like, it's giving some people want to create a discourse by not showing the full scope of the character creator sort of thing, which I definitely believe that is plausible as to what's happening.
Well, this game has been getting a ton of hate ever since they first showed gameplay. You know, from the CRPG PC guys that want to pretend like the other games didn't exist and only Origins exists, and they're upset that it's not a CRPG, to, you know, your grums, you know, gremlins going around, you know, complaining about every little thing. But I you know, Luca, I'm starting to look at the screenshot again, the one that BG shared, and sure, glute size is at 100%, but waist width is at -70.
And that's what I said. That's what I said as well in the DMs. I was like, yo, I don't think they didn't edit that aspect of it. So of course it's gonna look a little different, bro.
Yeah, because you know what I guess what they're not doing the BBL here. They're doing like a natural woman with, you know, some cheeks. Naturally, she's not going to have like a itty bitty waist like that for the most part. I'm not saying that's not all women. I've seen some natural, you know, wonders before, but you know, it's usually not like that. So yeah, I just think it's in the way the proportions were done in that screenshot left her looking a little lacking for 100% glute size. So, you know.
Yep.
Yes. So we do have to wait and for the game to come out fully so we can all get our holes on the character creator. And I'm very curious to see like what kind of characters people will end up being able to make in regards to body diversity. I saw, like I said, I don't like the concept of a divide there when it comes to, because like Black and Latina trans people do exist. So it's like I'm not saying that every Black and Latina woman has like a thicker body type. I'm just saying like you do tend to see that kind of body type more aligned
often.
with Black and Latina women. And there is I feel like when it comes to certain titles, because there's automatically it's sexualization, you know what I'm saying? Well,
right.
I don't think that inherently the female form is sexualized. I think that people sexualize it, and that can be problematic as well, because it's just like these women are just existing. And the reason I say girls is because like sometimes girls develop a little bit faster, and then they're automatically being sexualized by like grown men and stuff like that, you know, and also grown women, like that kind of thing, right? I feel like that's problematic as well, to just exclude like an entire body type just because of that. We're fighting against sexualization, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's also problematic, because some people cannot help how they look, you know. Some women are just thick, they're naturally thicker than other women, you know. They have bigger breasts, bigger hips, bigger thighs. You know what I'm saying? Like, like sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
and
mean,
it's
like,
just like,
yeah. I mean, and you. I hate to say it, but the pushback on including characters that look like that, or having character creators with those kind of sliders to allow you to create stuff like that, or for example of like the kind of skins that you see in Fortnite, where you used to see in Fortnite that you don't anymore. The people who push back on that, they all tend to look and be of a certain demographic, and they don't really tend to have those features. And I'm not, and we see that mostly on the community gamer side of things, where they complain about women looking like that as if there aren't women that actually do look like that. But then on the developer side of things, I think when you see a character creator where BioWare is very proud of the work and the time and effort they put in it, and they make sure to have like certain inclusion for certain people who may have had surgeries, or you don't even have to be like a like a trans character. Like, there are women who've had like breast cancer before and may have the same similar scars. Like, you could be saying that's inclusion for them too. But it just seems like, especially when you have a director who is a white trans woman, that when it comes to inclusion for people who don't look like anyone that's in the room, doesn't look like anyone who is a actual developer working on the game. Oh, did we forget we spent so much time on this character creator. Did we forget to actually make features for Black people? Whoops. How did that slip our mind? I mean, we only spent 2.5 years on this, and then we just completely didn't think about Black people at all. It's funny how that works. I'm not saying that is absolutely the case here, because clearly, it could just be, and I saw that screenshot, Luca, that character definitely didn't look like any character I ever seen someone making a character created before. So I think that's pretty awesome. But and I do have to acknowledge the hair, because I made a video on my channel about Black hair in video games, and I'm happy to see more movement in that, in improving that from developers, because I saw screenshots of hair. They even, for the first time ever, I saw a character creator that had baby hairs, and I'm just like, what? They doing that too? I'm like, wow, okay. That's good to see, but it's just not enough of it, and it's too often that that stuff gets ignored, or too often when I engage with a character creator in a game, the only acknowledgement they have of other races is a poorly implemented skin tone slider. And when I say poorly implemented, it's because the black or brown skin tones don't even look like actual like complexion of a black or brown person. It looks like a white person with a tan, or a really, really, really bad tan. And then outside of just having a skin tone slider, none of the other features are features of other people, like a different type of nose, or fuller lips, or as we just talked about, by different body types that are more common with different races. None of that stuff is ever there. It's always the European looking features. And so when you don't kind of half-ass it, people see that and think that is the norm when it comes to developers. And so it's not surprising that someone puts a screenshot out and everyone runs with it like, here we go again, without actually getting the opportunity to actually use the slider and use the character creator yet.
I mean, that's a great point. We're used to things being a very specific way. Now, shout out to Yobi, member for 37 months. Appreciate you, my boy, saying hashtag peace, love, life. Scumcast, Luca. Keep up the great work always, Luca. We appreciate you more than ever. You are important. Thank you. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you. And shout out to Aquarius Kudo with the dono saying, as long as there are extra feminine and masculine features, I'm cool with them adding any inclusive features they want. If not, it's simply performative. I agree with you 100%. There needs to be, I personally, I think that if you're going to go the extra mile with including like top scars and stuff like that, you need to be able to make hyper masculine and hyper feminine characters as well. And I think that we probably will be able to. We'll just have to see for ourselves. And then shout out to Marbin Israel becoming a scum lord. Appreciate you, my boy. As always, always love seeing you in the chat. Love seeing all you guys in the chat. I appreciate you guys. There was something else I was gonna say, but yeah, no, so like that's what I'm saying. Like because we're used to seeing, because there was a brief moment where I was like, damn, maybe I should like be like, when I'm making this tweet, be like, if this is true, if there's not extra stuff. But I know I went full speed ahead and was like, nah, where the fuck are the customization options? Where my
you're just used to them never being there.
Yeah, I'm used to it not being there. So, you know, I'm happy that DJ hit me up. He had the thinking emoji. He was probably like, you fucking bitch. How about you wait for the game to come out? I know he was thinking that, but that's okay. He didn't say it, and that's that's what fucking matters. He just corrected me gently, and I appreciate that. You know, you don't got to curse me out. You could just correct me gently, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. I appreciate him showing me that screenshot. Yeah, that chick. And, you know, you also have to keep in mind the people who are playing these games in their previews. Would they even be inclined to make a thicker body type for the characters?
Because there's very few of us in that arena too. So yeah.
So, you know, see you later, Jay Swolls. Keep it, take it easy, get some rest, my boy. All right, but yeah. So, the way I feel about it, I think like Dragon Age Inquisition, I was able to make the characters I wanted to make in Dragon Age Inquisition. I had 3 characters that I made, and I love all of them so much. I have my little backstory with them, and I really like Inquisition's character creator, right? So, but I think that the Veilguard character creator, it's looking good, you know. So I especially like that black character of Rook that we had. I was like, oh, that's good too. I like that. I like the detail that you could see in his expression, his hair, all that stuff, right? I'm looking forward to this game. I know the game is having a lot of controversy. I'm really hoping for my sake, that this game has a fantastic fucking story through and through, fantastic characters, and I enjoy myself, because I swear to fucking God, BioWare, this is your last chance for me. Okay, it's your last fucking chance. All right. I was already like, after Andromeda, which I liked Andromeda. Okay, I didn't finish it. You know, those fucking puzzles were definitely triggering me. I know. And I didn't like any of the characters really from Andromeda. I can't remember any of their names actually, but and then Anthem being the fucking disaster that was. I remember, shout out to one of our friends gifted me Anthem. I felt so bad. I gave him his money back. I was like, here you go. Here's your $60 back. Take this shit back, man. I am so sorry you bought me this game. What a waste of money for you. You know, like that's how bad that Anthem was. So they get one more chance from me. And I'm hoping like this is a case where failure leads to perseverance, and they actually just like they put that shit on, and it ends up being great for me. All the fucking it's woke, DEI, all that nonsense. I'm like, I don't care about any of that stuff. Dragon Age has always been woke. They're just adding the T. They're adding the T. Okay, they already had the LGB. They're adding the T. All right, so it is what it is, man. Oh, okay. Beat Mass Effect 2 today. Started 3. You know, Mass Effect 2, aka the best in the trilogy, but that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
It's just my opinion. But yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I really hope
also very good till the end. So
yeah. I really hope, and I'll say this about Mass Effect real quick before I get into my thoughts about Veilguard, but the one thing that you could kind of hang your hat on with Andromeda is that it has the best combat. And something that I've always felt about the Mass Effect series is that each Mass Effect game improved upon the combat of the previous game. Like Mass Effect 1 has the worst combat. 2 is a dramatic improvement, and 3 is just even better than 2. But Andromeda has amazing combat, but everything else about it stunk. And unfortunately, it's not a horrible game. It's just not at the level of quality of the trilogy. But anyway, I just hope Veilguard's good. Not simply because I'm a massive Dragon Age fan, but I hope it's good because if it's not good, I don't think we're going to get the next Mass Effect game they're working on. If it doesn't do well, I don't have faith that next Mass Effect's coming out. So hopefully it turns out great.
One can hope, because I mean, this is BioWare's last straw, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. Are you guys still members of the channel? If so, can you pull up the channel member post? I linked it, but I don't know if it'll show up for you. I linked it in the private chat. Okay.
You want me to share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me kind of blow this up a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you. If you want to zoom in a little bit.
That good?
Oh, zoom in a little bit more.
Good grief.
Okay, that's good. All right. So what do you do for stress relief? I prefer video games or fishing. I work out. Yeah, I work out. That's like the only thing I do for stress relief. I mean, what about you guys?
Yeah, actually, more recently, well, before my surgery, I've been cleared to work out again, but in the past few months, I've been working out, more and more, and it is a good, stress relief. Another thing I do for stress, is just to walk and listen to music. I'll walk around my neighborhood and just listen to music, and it kind of helps. Singer?
Yeah, same thing. I like throw on the music and go for a walk, because walking, especially up by me, because there's a whole like forest. So you just go through a walk through the forest and just enjoy yourself. Clean. That's the best de-stress.
I agree. Exercise is where it's at, y'all. Okay, and shout out to Ronald saying video games are taking longer to make even though technology is advancing. Outside of sports games and COD, one outlier I can think of is the Yakuza's games. It seems like we get a new entry every other year. I know Capcom has also been making a variety of games and putting them out in reasonable times. Then on the other hand, we get GTA every 15 years. I know studios are not engaging in crunch compared to years ago. What do you think is the reason why certain studios are taking longer than others? Not to sound selfish, but something has got to give on these long development cycles. I can tell you exactly what GTA's problem is. GTA fucking online. All right.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they started making that money, they were like, let's go ahead and slow down on releases. I'm sure everyone has seen the chart of how Rockstar used to be with their releases. They were releasing games on a consistent basis. They weren't taking decades in order to, I'm sorry, they weren't taking years to get games out, right? As soon as that GTA fucking online came out, they're like, we're printing money. We're just going to take our sweet fucking time. We're going to take our sweet fucking time, baby, because we can. Because we can't take our sweet fucking time. Because what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to be there to buy the fucking game. So at least in Rockstar's case, they're taking as long as they want to take because they can, right? For the other studios, they're taking as long as they can, bitch, because the cost of gaming has gone up, really. And they're spending too much damn money. I'll be right back. Go ahead, Slow and Singer.
Yeah, I would say also that like it's I agree with Luca. It is the success of GTA 5 and GTA Online that is the reason why GTA is going to take like 15 years to come out. 6 is going to take 15 years to come out because they're not in a rush to give you another game when you're giving them so much money on the current one. And that success, typically what happens with publishers when they get that level of success, where it is generation defining, it is that game release, their previous game release is on like the Mount Rushmore, but like a Hall of Fame level kind of game. It affects how they do business going forward. They start looking at the numbers and they say, why are we making a Bully 2? Bully 2 isn't going to make anywhere near as much money as we're going to make off of GTA Online in 1 month. So instead, this team working on Bully 2, you're going to be working on content for GTA Online or the next GTA 6. And we're going to make it even bigger than the previous one was. We also saw that with Epic Games. Epic Games, before Fortnite, when it was just Fortnite Save the World, which was flopping, they had other games they were working on. They had a Overwatch clone. They had all kinds of other titles they were working on. All those teams, whether the game was already released or not, canceled or shut down, and all those teams were reassigned to work on seasons for Fortnite. It's like you want to see games succeed, but sometimes they succeed so well that it is to the detriment of creativity and other game releases that people are looking forward to. Singer, any thoughts on that?
Wait, what was that again?
Any thoughts on Ronald's statement here about long development times?
I mean, what was it specifically about long development times, or was it just in general?
Well, I mean, what we're talking about is how some games are like Yakuza games seem to come out every other year, and Capcom's making a ton of games. But you look at GTA, and they're dropping a game every other generation at this point. And he mentioned that it's studios aren't really engaged in crunch like that no more. But like, what's going on with these long development times?
I think it's just people want the big AAA games, right? I think this is partly Sony set a precedent, I think, and I agree with
Sony
this. And Rockstar, both of them, as in like extending the time for bigger quality games. Because if you think of how long it's been between like one game and another game, like The Last of Us 2, the time between the God of Wars, like everything's just been getting longer and longer. Now, other studios have been doing it, but they were doing this back in the PS4 gen. They had a lot of games coming out, but if you looked at their first party, like outside of Insomniac, see, Insomniac is just a machine. I don't know how they pump out so many games. They're just really efficient. They must be. They must, they got it. Do this, do that, do this, do that, done. Boom, bang out. But now it's taking like 6 years for a game, and you gotta think, like, people keep saying Ghost of Tsushima 2 is coming out. Ghost of Tsushima released in, when was it?
2019, I think. But I don't think Sony started this.
No. But they helped propel it. Because they wanted the bigger games, right? And now people expect these really polished big AAA games from everyone. Like, you look typically at games that come out quicker, there's either problems with them or they're smaller games. Like, yeah, Yakuza games come out a lot, but would you put a Yakuza on the same level as The Last of Us or a Rockstar game? You wouldn't, right?
No, I mean they have a lot of content, but the way the game is designed allows them to pack a lot of content in the game and drop it in a short period of time. It's the level of production value that you get with the those other games that make it different and have them take longer. But Sony mitigates that by having like these
third party.
Well, they support. Not. I'm talking about for the actual games themselves.
Yeah.
They'll have support studios that help a lot of support studios, and they also have like other development teams like XDev that do like cutscenes. They'll do high value cutscenes to add into the game so that like the developers can kind of that take something else off that developer's plate that they don't have to worry about while they're trying to get the game out. And even though that doesn't, they still have pretty much the same on average development time that you'll see from other big third-party AAA games. Their production values, though, are significantly higher. And if anyone else were to try to do that, well, their games would be coming out in like every 8 years or so. I think the person that started this is Rockstar. Frankly, like that's the first game I could think of that where GTA and Red Dead take forever to have a new release. And Rockstar has teams all over the world, studios all over the world, and they all just work on 1 or 2 games, either Red Dead or GTA. They don't really work on anything else. But yeah, Rondo, thank you for the question. We got one from Phil DVG. Phil says, since I already know y'all will cook the tourists in this episode, I want to know, is there a game where you believe adding a form of DEI would add to the enjoyment of a game you look forward to? I guess we could, I'll finish the whole statement, then we can talk about that. I care about the trans options in Veilguard a lot more if they didn't already make all the companions pansexual. That's going to be a very interesting discussion because I know me and Luca have had discussion about Dragon Age in regards to that statement there. He says, I would have liked them to evolve the romances to be more restrictive, like Inquisition, but where companions will or won't romance your character depending on how masculine and feminine your trans character looks and whether you disclose it to the companion. Imagine hiding your meat from a male character until the male sex scene comes and they turn against you for not disclosing that early.
That's actually, I mean, like, there's like that whole concept where gender doesn't equal sexuality, all that stuff, right? But like, I feel like that's a really interesting conversation point. That's really interesting, actually. I like that. I feel like having the trans option would have made more sense in something like Inquisition, where it was more restrictive, right? That's really interesting. Because me personally, like, I don't like when they restrict who I can romance. But Luca, I don't care. Okay, I am the main character in these games. I want to be able to romance whoever I want to romance, and I understand like, oh, it doesn't feel as real, all this extra shit.
That's my feeling.
Okay, like I don't care because at the end of the day, you can Google what do I need to say in order to get in this character's pants. You say whatever you need to say in order to sleep with the character. Whether or not you actually feel that way, or it's like, would I actually choose this option? No, you go ahead, you choose, you say what you got to say in order to sleep with the character. So me personally, I don't like when the characters are locked off to me because I don't want to have to choose to play as a guy if I want to romance a certain girl or vice versa. Okay. Now, that's how I feel like Dragon Age 2 did that the best, where I was like, okay, I could just be with whoever I want to be with, right? I could be with Anders as a guy, I could be with Anders as a girl, or any of the other characters. I don't have to pick and choose my gender in order to acquiesce to the sexuality of the characters. Now, again, that's just me. That's my perspective. That's what I want personally. But yeah, just like for me, what is it?
The super chat.
The HZD. Oh, come on, man. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
That's messed up.
Because at the end of the day, like, that's what all of us do. We choose the right dialogue options to get in the character's pants, right? That's just how it is, right? So it's just like, for me, there are certain characters, like, I don't want to play as a male shepherd, but I would have had to play as a male shepherd to romance Miranda, right? I don't like that option is cut off for me because I have to play as a guy. I don't want to play as a guy. Like sometimes I just want to play as a girl, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about it. I'm cool with the trans options. Gender does not equal sexuality. So it's like, for this game in particular, it really does not fucking matter if you're a guy or a girl, right? Like you could just be with whoever you want to be with, right? So it's cool. But I do think that's a very interesting perspective. And honestly speaking, if they hadn't included the trans aspect of it, I might have been more interested in that as well. Because also at the same time, like even if you are, say you're a trans man, that doesn't mean that a cis woman would want to date you, and like vice versa. Or it's like, take for instance, if you're a trans woman, that doesn't automatically mean you'd want to date a trans man. Like, like there's just so many things that go into it. But it's like, it's a really interesting conversation point that I don't see anyone else. I've not seen anyone else bring up. And so I appreciate you bringing it up to us because I find that very, very fascinating. But yeah, I like being able to romance whoever I want to romance without having to be locked to a certain gender. And I like that they've opened it up. I don't like Inquisition's options. And I get it. It makes them realer and fuller character stuff. I don't give a fuck. Okay,
look at you.
I don't
this
care.
point 3 times. Can we speak now? Because I would like to say
excuse
rebuttal.
me, whose show is this?
It's your show.
Thank you. Like you're telling me that first of all, I don't know how to say. First of all, I don't know how to say this. But if I want to repeat myself, I can repeat myself. You've repeated yourself to me multiple fucking times. Every time we speak, you tell me something I've already heard before. Do I say, Slomo, I've already heard that before? Don't repeat yourself. No, I don't. I let you speak. Because we're friends. How dare you? And then you can't even, there's no rebuttal. This is my opinion. You can feel however you want to feel, but you're not going to be rebuttaling me. It's an opinion. So I'm not going to change my mind just because you feel a certain way. So
I did not say.
You said rebuttal.
I did not say that you were going to change your mind. Nor did I say having a rebuttal doesn't mean that you're going to change your mind.
Having a rebuttal is
change your mind.
Pointless. Is pointless. Because I don't care. So go ahead and give your opinion.
The point is about someone actually feeling it's worthwhile to say something. And if I feel like it's worthwhile to say something, I'm going to say it whether you feel it's pointless or not.
You could say whatever you want, but I don't care if you don't agree with my perspective. That's what I'm saying. So it's okay that you disagree. I'm just saying I don't care. We've
had this conversation before. So
yeah, that's fine. And so if we had this conversation before, then why are we? I'm telling my people,
because there are people watching, and it's not a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, so I'm telling my people my perspective. I want to finish giving my point. Once I was finished giving my point, I was like, okay, Slomo, you can go. Like, are you interrupting me before I can finish giving my point? Like, I'm not done rambling.
Same thing 3 or 4 times. You gave your point.
You say the same thing all the time, Slomo. You come on this damn show and repeat yourself all the time. Do I say Slomo don't repeat yourself? Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I've heard this damn Fortnite conversation multiple fucking times. Explain yourself.
Okay, and I bring it up when it's actually important to bring it up, and I don't repeat it 3 times back to back to back.
All the fucking time you bring this shit up. So explain that.
I just did.
Anyway, you could have just let me finish speaking before interrupting me. I don't interrupt you. I don't be like, Slomo, stop talking. You already said this, Slomo.
I didn't say that. So you're exaggerating.
You're a hater. Okay?
Damn, you're so triggered right now.
I am triggered. Damn. Fuck you. Fuck you. What, you thought you saying that I was triggered was going to stop me or something and be like, no, I'm not triggered. I am triggered.
I'm just letting you know.
Hell yeah, I'm triggered.
You're calling me a hater. This is funny.
This could have been done. Like, we could have been finished with this conversation. You could have offered your perspective if you just let me finish speaking. And then you've been like, well, damn, Luca, you don't got to repeat yourself again. You don't got to repeat yourself ever. How about that? But go ahead and give your little rebuttal on a point that I don't care about. Go ahead.
So chat, because I'm saying this to the chat, not the Luca and Singer. I think that actually having it where not everyone is free to just the player actually makes the characters more real. And they're more like real people, because real people have preferences, or real people have or born a particular way and attracted to certain things. And so when you have characters that don't have that, it just kind of weakens the story, weakens the subplots, the narratives, those characters themselves. So when you have someone like, she mentioned Miranda in Mass Effect 2, having Miranda have only being open to romance to a male shepherd makes sense, because if these were real characters, that would be something that actually would be happening, not just strictly, oh, I'm the main character, so I want to just do whatever with everyone. I mean, sure, there's a preference for that, but I think that just weakens the story. And I think the fact that most games that offer these kind of options don't make it free to everyone means that the developers also feel like it weakens the story in the game. So that's
So
all
do
I
you
wanted
think
to
the
say,
story
Luca.
was weakened for Dragon
Well,
Age 2?
are you rebuttaling? I mean, I don't
No, I'm
understand why
asking
you're
a
doing
question.
rebuttaling,
I'm
because you know I'm not
asking
going to
a
change my
question.
mind.
No, I'm
You
asking
know
a
I'm not going to
question.
change my
I'm
mind, Luca.
asking a question. I'm asking a
Okay, go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Okay, see,
What
this
was the
is my
question again?
issue with you. You don't even know what you're talking about. Listen to me.
I,
I said, do you think the
I,
story was weaker with the characters for Dragon Age 2 because they were open to
and
everybody?
in that aspect, yes. It
Really?
was
How
still
so?
it's still a strong story due to a lot of other things, like the whole mage versus the Templar scenario. Hawk is a very good protagonist. The way they span the game across like a decade in Kirkwall, a lot of the aspects of the story, like the terrorist act that Anders does at the end, and the choices that you have to make, and people picking sides, like the story is still strong, but I just think that aspect of it, where it's just like it's pretty much just like these people don't have, or just everyone has the same sexual identity. I thought that was weaker. I thought that weakened it a bit.
I actually, yeah. So it's strange that you have that perspective because I don't think them being open to either gender affected their storylines at all. I feel like like Fenris especially, considering what he went through. I think Fenris is an extremely strong character, and I don't think that him being attracted to a male or female Hawk affected the strength of his character just based on the depth of it. Him and Isabella as well. Anders, as much as I can't stand his bitch ass, is a deep is a deep character. Is a deep character as much as I don't
Anders
like him.
is
I know.
no. I always say this, and he's not even real Anders,
He's
because
not
he's
even
like
Anders.
Anders.
That's
Yeah,
Justice.
he's Justice
That's
cosplaying
Justice.
as Anders,
Cosplaying as
you know,
Anders.
because real Anders was the cool guy in
Chill,
Awakenings,
relaxed. Mhm.
funny, hilarious, it was, he was a great character, and then they just completely destroyed him. But it makes sense in the context of the story. That said, I think there are people who really are in real life that way, and it makes sense to have some characters who are like that and some characters who aren't, like in Inquisition, where Cullen is heterosexual, but then is it, I can't remember who it is. There's so many characters. I haven't played Inquisition in a minute, so I can't think of
Iron Bull is
everyone's. Yes, there you go.
Yeah,
Like Iron Bull, for
Cullen
example.
being straight makes perfect fucking sense.
Exactly, it does, right? But that's like it makes this character more real when that is the case. If you got a guy like Cullen, and then it's just like, well, now he's pansexual too, and it's just like, it just doesn't make sense for how they wrote the character, So I just kind of feel like those stories are stronger when it's characters that feel more real.
I feel like, again, the characters in Dragon Age 2 do feel very real because the way they write the characters takes into account their sexuality. So Cullen being straight makes perfect sense for the character that he is, right? But like, take for instance, Dorian being gay makes perfect sense. They made Dorian more flamboyant, and he follows
Right.
more stereotypical tropes of a gay male because they were like, he's just gay. They're not going to give him the option to be bisexual. So we're going to make him a stereotype, which even though I love Dorian, in my opinion, that makes him less real to me because he's just following stereotypical tropes in regards to his flamboyancy. Same with Sarah. Sarah being a lesbian made her more masculine in certain instincts, where it's instances, that is, where her expressions, her demeanor, the way she presented herself, Sarah does not feel like a real character to me. And it's also because there are certain the fact that she's a lesbian, I feel like they put more into the tropes in that regard. Do you understand what I'm saying with that? Where they made them more of stereotypes and less so of like there's just like full rounded. Of course the stereotypes exist for a reason. That means there's real people who embody those stereotypes.
For a reason.
But I'm just saying, like, because the stereotypes were so heavily highlighted with those characters, it made me look at them like, I don't know. You know, like, again, I like Sarah and I like Dorian, but that was something that did stand out to me. The fact that they embodied stereotypical traits of a gay person and of a lesbian. And then, and like, I could say like Isabella liking women makes sense for her character because she is like sexually fluid, right? If anything, for Meryl, I would actually think
she was introduced like that. The only time you see her in Origins is an option for a threesome. So it's like,
so that makes sense for her character.
That makes sense for that character.
I think it would make more sense for Meryl to be like asexual or something, to not be interested in romance or aromantic.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially considering how like awkward she is, and just a lot of her social skills are really bad compared to like how she was raised with the Dalish, her Dalish community. Just like that makes a lot of sense. I actually kind of somewhat. So I'm looking at Phil's comment where he says he thinks it made what was weaker was removing the option to romance Aveline. I love that. I thought that was great in Dragon Age 2. That here's someone that has zero attraction to Hog. Just zero. Just no attraction to Hog whatsoever. I thought that was just fine. I think
also Sebastian
having characters like that is good
too. Sebastian was also straight.
Yes. Right. I will say this every single time anyone brings. I feel like that storyline was never completed.
That's because it wasn't completed at all. Okay, they were they threw Sebastian ass up in there. All right, and Sebastian was not an interesting character. So
yeah, he really was. But I still kind of wanted just to go to his homeland, help him get his homeland back, and it's just like none of that ever got really completed. Like. Yeah, it's an unfinished storyline.
100%. And so also I think that for Fenris, it would have made more sense for Fenris to just not be an option at all, considering the sexual abuse that he experienced when he was a slave. So for Fenris,
all these changes you suggest that would have made it better, I agree with all of them. But that also goes into what I'm saying that like having characters that are part of your party but aren't romanceable. Just I think it strengthens the story. It makes them feel more real.
Well, yeah, and I'm just saying that I just don't agree with that aspect because even though you could still romance them, I still feel like Meryl and Fenris are good, strong characters.
I hate Meryl.
I know you fucking hate Meryl. I know you.
I hate her so much. She's the worst character in Dragon Age.
Okay, wait, she's not the worst character in Dragon Age.
Who's worse than her?
Anders.
Oh, okay. Second worst.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Anders blew up a church, so he gets the top spot. But
I would say Sebastian. I mean, what Meryl did was really fucked up too, though. Maybe never mind. You're right. I can give the second one to. Yeah. I'm just saying that
so many people told her this is going to end badly. Stop doing what you're doing. Oh yeah, I think I know better. Okay, everyone's dead. Thank you.
But I also feel like that's realistic as well because you can offer your friends advice and they still do stupid shit, and then they look at you like, oh. You're like, okay, so I mean, I told you this shit was gonna happen. So I feel like that was really realistic as well. So I'm just saying, like. I don't feel like it weakens them as characters because I still feel that they are real, well-rounded characters, even though I got the chance to romance them. And so, and again, I'm offering that other perspective in which Dragon Age Inquisition, I felt that because Dorian and Sarah, they embodied stereotypes that weakened their character in my perspective as well. But I understand what you're saying. I just have a different perspective on it. That's all.
And Chad, this is maybe like part 5 of this conversation that me and Luca have had. We've had this conversation offline at least 4 times.
We talk about this all the fucking time. Like, but that's because first of all, we're not tourists. All right. Like
That's
you
right.
said, Phil, we're not fucking bums. All right.
I
We're
live
not
here.
people who are like, I live here. I can talk about this shit all day, every fucking day. All right. I fucking love Dragon Age and I love Mass Effect. But anyway, like, yeah. So I mean, like I said, me not liking something doesn't mean that it's bad, right? So me not liking the fact that I can't romance Miranda as a woman doesn't mean that it's a bad choice. It just means that I don't like it. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, and it's you know, I love Mass Effect so much. All those characters are so great. Even Jacob's boring ass, which again we've discussed
He
this
is.
multiple times. Him being boring is a great contrast for his loyalty mission and seeing what a piece of shit his father is. It's like, no, Jacob, you're actually great. You're a great person in comparison. So yeah, I
Right.
just
And
think
it's
that
like, hey, Jacob, just go back to the ship. I'll take care of your dad.
Exactly.
Because I wanted to put a bullet in that guy's head immediately.
Exactly. Kill that man. He deserved to die 100%. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm looking forward to playing this game. I feel like all those
Arcade.
characters, I'm like even looking at their character designs. I think the only character where I'm like, really, you're pansexual, like you're interested in women, is Scout Harding, and that's just because she was not romanceable in the Inquisition. So it just kind of
Right.
like is it's a little, I guess it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird, you know, that kind of thing. You also couldn't
She's
romance Varric.
such a minor character, though, in Inquisition that, like,
I think you could flirt with
Go
her
ahead.
and she could reject you. That's the thing
Oh, yeah.
in
that's true.
Inquisition. So
Yeah.
you also could not romance Varric, so there's that as well. So there were, I mean, the thing of it is, like, again, there were characters in Dragon Age 2 that you could not romance, but you could romance 4 and you could not romance 2. You could romance 4, not romance 2, and then you could romance 1 as like a girl, which I don't even know why anybody would want to romance Sebastian, boring ass Sebastian. I don't know, but you know, we all like different things, I guess. Shout out to Nautical, who's been a member for 46 months and member of the show, saying, look at Luca scolding her oldest child. Put that man in his place. Exactly. So proud of the progress of this family.
Shut up, Forte.
Yeah.
Why are you talking and super chatting instead of being in the actual panel? You don't get an opinion on the outside, Forte. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, and then also, Phil, you're right. Vivian not being romanceable does also make sense for her character. You guys have this talk on stream multiple times. I know it's all we ever fucking talk about. I know it's the only thing I'm fucking passionate about. So okay, so Corey asked, do you think he's gonna first 48? Who's next to fall? I fell up the stairs like 3 days ago as an FYI. Man, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you referring to?
Isn't First 48 a TV show where they got solve if they don't solve it in 48 hours, it goes unsolved or something like that?
I don't know.
Who is he?
I don't know. Like Corey, what am I missing some sort of
I
context?
feel like Corey sent this and was just cackling to himself because he knew we would be so confused by what he wrote. Or maybe he sent it and then he edited it and he didn't change who he was, so we don't know. Is he talking about Herman Hulse? Is he going to get first 48'd? Who's next to fall?
I was also kind of like, is he talking about? For some reason I thought he was like, is he talking about Trump? Like, who are you talking about, man?
But the last sentence, I fell up the stairs 3 days ago, is so random. How you fall upstairs though?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Well, wait, you could slip on a step and fall forward
on the stair, but you don't act. Yeah, because you can't
trip up the stairs
because of gravity. You know, you can't.
Yeah, but you'd fall forwards up the stairs, right? So if you trip over,
I mean, yeah, I guess. We're sitting here debating what falling up the stairs means.
I mean, no, I just don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, Corey, he said, "Do you think Diddy is going to snitch?"
Oh, yes. Hell
yeah.
he's gonna
Well,
snitch.
Yeah.
yeah, the
If they don't
progress has
kill him
already been
first.
started. See, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. See, look, I saw something on social media yesterday saying that he's on suicide watch. We all know what that means. Because suicide watch means nothing. Every person that's on that high profile person that might be targeted for something is when they put them on suicide watch. Somehow the person on watch decides to go for a walk for an hour and a half, and they come back. Oh, he's dead. Whoopsie. That happens every single time. That happened to Epstein. That has happened. That happened to the dude. Remember the dude in was it Ohio? I think that had like kidnapped the young girls and held them for like a decade and was like spawning children with them and stuff. And then like
No,
one
I
of
don't
them,
recall.
it was his black neighbor saw or heard a girl screaming for help like outside of a window. He like got her out, and then she said there's more in there, and then they caught the dude, and then that dude was dead in like a week in jail, and he was on suicide watch. But then they just so happened to just decide to just not check up on him for like 3 hours, and they found him hung. Like I think all that stuff is always on purpose.
Yeah, hell yeah, they're about to kill that man. Like 100%.
Yeah. Before he started talking, because he's got tapes of everyone. He had 250 cameras in his house that he's having these freak offs in. He got a camera in every bedroom. He got dirt on everybody. And the people like Stevie J, like he ain't gonna do nothing. You're right. Some of these celebrities ain't gonna do anything. But like politicians, people with influence, people with power, yeah, he gonna get Epstein. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, hell yeah. They're definitely gonna fucking kill that man. They're gonna kill that man.
The thing is, will he sing like 6ix9ine did, or before they kill him, or is he gonna die before?
I feel like even if he does release all like that information, we the public are not gonna know because somebody's gonna end up sealing that shit. Like with the Epstein stuff, like we still don't know who was on his island for sure.
Mhm.
Like we're missing a bunch of context when it comes to that. We don't know about several things when it comes to that case. So I definitely think that there's a chance that he could get all the information out or get some of it out and then he ends up dead, for sure. Like when it comes, there are people in power who we don't know about, who have so much money, so much influence, who are a part of this network of sex trafficking that they're not going to allow him to expose them. So, and Diddy is like ultimately he's not a good person at all. So it's like he would definitely start yapping to save his own skin. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna kill that. They're gonna kill that man. He's out of here.
I heard he tried to post bail, and he tried to negotiate like a $50 million bail, and it was like, nah, fam, you just gonna flee the country, or intimidate all the witnesses. So no, you ain't getting out. So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before they get him.
Yeah.
Because
and he deserves to die, honestly. So go ahead, Singer.
Pretty much.
I was gonna say, 'cause see, if no one sealed it, then we could find out who actually killed Biggie and Pac, if it was indeed him. But it's like all that information that would clean up so much shit, but it probably gets sealed anyway. But I mean, don't be surprised if you see on the news Diddy winds up dead or something.
Yeah, no, they're definitely gonna kill his ass. Like he's just, they were murking folks over that Boeing situation, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's over. It's a wrap for him. He's out of here, dude. He's not gonna make it. So, I mean, sucks to suck, I guess. Like I think he deserves to die. He's a terrible person. So whatever. It just sucks that he won't. Like I need him to spend some time in prison first, though. I need him to suffer in jail first. And then they can go ahead and get him the fuck up out of here. So
Corey also said, who's next to fall after he goes down? I've heard some people say that Jay-Z might be next, but I think Jay-Z, I don't know all of his demons and stuff, but Jay-Z doesn't seem to like. I do think there is some truth to, not saying Diddy is innocent in anything. I think there are people out here that are trying to make him a victim just because he's had like enemies from like his former partners with the liquor business.
Oh, okay, that
And
post.
yeah, and it's just like, yeah, they may be garbage people too, and they may have wanted to get rid of him because he was trying to own things and have too much influence and be above what they think a black man's station should be. But they wouldn't have any opportunity to take him down in this manner if he wasn't compromised in such a way, if he wasn't actually doing all the things. Like, I mean, the same people who are just going to willingly ignore there is video of this man chasing Cassie in a hotel hallway and beating her down. Like, there's evidence of all this stuff. And it's just because some people didn't like him doesn't change who he is. He's a piece of garbage human being. Now, what I said with like Jay-Z, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what skeletons are in Jay-Z's closet and what demons he's hiding, but he's also worked in those same waters. Like, he and Diddy have made a bulk of their money off of like selling alcohol. And people don't think about it, but they probably made more money doing that than they did making music. So maybe it's not, maybe Jay-Z, if he was thinking about trying to do more, he may change his mind now after what happened to Diddy. But
He doesn't need
who's
more
next?
money. So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've seen some stuff come out, but I mean, Chris Brown, people are talking about him again, but
I mean, everybody's always talking about that man.
right.
And we know what he did, so it's just kind of like, all right, whatever, dude. As for new people, I don't know, because I feel like for the Jay-Z thing, right? Like I'm like, okay, but I've not heard about anything crazy about Jay-Z other than him potentially grooming Beyonce, and that's like it. Like, I've not heard anything else crazy about him, but like, yeah, like I've not really heard anything about him, so I don't even know if like they could get like what they would get him on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I've been hearing weird shit about Diddy and R. Kelly and like my entire life, and then even with the Cosby situation, like someone made a joke about it. Like you would hear something, you would hear someone make a joke somewhere about someone, like before the whole Drake and Kendrick thing happened. We've all heard about Drake being weird with young girls. Like, that was just something that we all.
There you go, Drake. Like because that it's out there now. It's out there now about Drake and young girls, right? So, I mean, if anyone's next, it's probably him. But to your point, Luca, like, people have these conspiracy theories. It's like, oh, like they're just trying to take down any black man that has power and influence and make an example out of them. Cosby, like, people tried to make it seem like because Cosby wanted to own a TV station or a network or something, that they got rid of him. But it's like, but he still was sexually assaulting and drugging women. Like why are you just ignoring that because he wanted to own a network and he didn't get a chance to do that?
I think it's because someone made this.
So what did they like? They tell a comedian to go do a whole comedy skit about him, some random comedian, and then it blows up. Like that was their game plan. Like, why would you just think some random comedian that no one knew would blow up in that manner? It's just like, it's too outlandish.
It's too outlandish. It doesn't make any sense. And also there's this where it's just kind of like, I think, and someone made this point, it's like there are some black men, right, who are like annoyed, upset. They don't like the fact that white men can get away with being predators, and they're like, well, why you're upset at this person? Why are you like you hate this person, but what about this white man over here? I'm like, okay, so like they're both bad.
Yeah.
Like they're both bad. Like
you should be wanting the white guy predators to just go to jail, as they should, instead of thinking it's okay for the black predator to get off because the white guy did. That doesn't make sense. Make sure they all
any sense. Make sure they all suffer the consequences of their actions. So there are some predators, because I honestly do genuinely think this, like if you have that kind of mentality where you can't acknowledge fucking reality, you can't acknowledge the truth that's out there, in which there are like the video evidence of this shit happening, then you're probably a predator too, or you are associated with predators. And so, I mean, that's my perspective of it. Because again, or you're just fucking stupid. And honestly speaking, I think, maybe it's better to be stupid than to be considered a predator. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think people who have those kinds of like conspiracy theories, I'm like, yeah, you are barking up the wrong fucking tree. You sound crazy as hell. It is a bad idea to have that kind of perspective, because there's proof out there. I'll give an example. Candace Owens is always talking about predators in Hollywood and how they use the porn industry in order to gain power over people. All this shit about how there's like they're all pedophiles, you know what I'm saying, in Hollywood, all this shit, right? Her husband is friends with the Tate brothers, where Andrew and Tristan Tate have on camera talked about how they like to sleep with 15-year-old girls. Andrew and Tristan Tate have on camera talked about being involved in porn, have talked about sex trafficking girls, but Candace is all like defending them. And it's because her husband is friends with them and has known them for years, right? So it's like, you look at Candace and you're just kind of like, okay, so you're just gonna completely ignore the fact that you're friends with predators because of what? Because of if they have something on your husband, is what I'm assuming, and it's like people try to make these points and they just ignore reality, and it's like, you look crazy as hell ignoring proof that is right there in front of you. You can find all of this information out, and just jumping to conspiracy theories makes you look crazy, because it's like, that's not, they said it themselves. It's like when I got into an argument with someone over the fucking Steven Crowder situation. Steven Crowder on camera verbally accosting his fucking wife. I'm like, well, Steven Crowder's an abuser. You just hate men, Luca. What are you talking about? What are you saying to me right now? There is proof that this man is emotionally abusive. Like, what? You can see it. It's like and then those fucking I can't remember his name because there's been so many, that a video came out of that footballer beating his girlfriend's ass, beating her ass, and people are just like, I pretend I do not see it. I'm blind. Like, I cannot speak. It's just like, what are y'all talking about here? Like, I just don't understand that concept of ignoring. And let me not get started. I don't understand the concept of ignoring reality because it like affects your worldview. I'm like, I think we should just acknowledge what's true versus what's not true, and what's true is that Diddy is a known predator, and that is what it is. It's not as he's a black man he's a black man and he's also a predator. Okay. In this instance, he just happens to be a fucking black predator. Okay. Just like Weinstein is a white predator. Two things
can be true at the same time.
2 things can be true at the same fucking time. So people, they gotta fucking calm down. Relax, man. Use your fucking brain for once, please. You embarrass me when you don't do that shit. But anyway, let's get the fuck up out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Singer, thanks for hanging out with me from the start. I appreciate you having someone to go back and forth with in the beginning. Thank you. Waiting for Slomo to come through, but he was free. And Slomo, thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate you, even though you are a hater. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, shout out to everyone who hung out on the show with us. Shout out to everyone who listens later. Shout out to all the super chat supporters. Shout out to all the channel members. I got nothing but love for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Again, for those who missed it, I was in Ohio last week. I could post a couple pictures You guys can see some of the cool shit I saw. So yeah, but yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Do you guys have anything you want to say before I go?
DPS podcast last Thursday night was pretty cool. Had Game Logic on with us. We had a good time. Come check it out on the DPS channel. Yeah, that's about it.
Mr.
Play
Slater?
your games.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie, Smokey. I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Peace, 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 peace. You guys have a nice night. Just not make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. You know what's crazy, Slow-Mo? Let me tell you.